Hello, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. I am Mel Rose, and I am here to share your daily aspects. Today is Saturday, February 19, 2022, and the sun is in its first full day of Pisces, as is Neptune in Pisces. Now, Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces, so like Saturn in Aquarius, Neptune in Pisces is right at home in its own sign. So, this is a very, Pisces is naturally a very creative vibe, a very feeling, imaginative, dreaming vibe. And Neptune brings in inspiration, dreams, a lot of psychic receptivity, and so the combination of those two really makes this a good time to really imagine and dream. It's also a very playful time. Pisces is the end of the cycle. It's the last sign of the zodiac before we move back into Aries, which is the first. So it's really a time to imagine, dream, play, get a little bit of rest. I think it's a great time for that, especially after those 2 full months of like Saturn heavy Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Not that those aren't wonderful, and we love to get the work done. It feels really satisfying at the time, but everybody needs a break from time to time. So Neptune will be in Pisces until 2025. It has really long transits through the signs. Jupiter will be in Pisces until later this year in May, and then it'll move into Aries, and then it will go retrograde and move back into Pisces for a time. So we'll have a little bouncing back and forth of Jupiter, our planet for expansive, good fortune, positive opportunities for growth in the sign of Pisces, which is like, which will expand our feeling and imaginative and inspired mood. Lovely, lovely vibes on that for me, as far as I'm concerned. And then the moon today is in Libra. So in Libra, we bring a harmonious and orderly aesthetic to our body, our heart, and home. We engage in friendly interactions, and we seek to solve our problems through diplomacy, through our relationships with people. And Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is conjunct with Mars right now. So something tells me that any diplomacy or seeking order that we're doing in our body, heart, and home probably has a little bit to do with our relating in our partnerships. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get into these aspects. We do have a legend on the side with all of the symbols that are on the page today. So if you need a short name or a description, they're right here. I have divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. And the moon sheds light on our inner lives. That is, again, our body, our heart, and our home. And the very brief aspects and transits that it makes have more to do with those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, the stuff that happens on the inside that doesn't have to be expressed unless we choose to. And then the sun sheds light on our outer lives, and I address the sun's aspects and all the other planets' aspects over here because they take longer and they have a lot more to do with who we are on the outside and in our interactions with the world. So here we are with the inner life, and here we are with the outer life. And we start with the moon, or the inner life today, Central Standard Time at 6:18 a.m. The moon makes a trine aspect with Mercury. This is very much, Mercury is about our thoughts, plans, and communications. And the moon, of course, is our inner life. So this is really putting us in a mood to talk about what's going on with ourselves, talk about our bodies, talk about what's going on in our heart and our mind, talk to those people that we keep close to us at home, and really share about ourselves. The trine aspect here makes it ideal functioning energy for that, for those activities. So go ahead, if there's something on your mind, if there's something that you're worried about, if there's something you need to get off your chest, or really just a dream you want to dream with somebody else and see where it can go, go ahead and do that today. Blessed energies for that. And on the sun, and that's all we've got on the moon side of the page today. So, moon in Libra, waning gibbous. We're reviewing how things have gone for us so that we can come back to our creative cycle with the new moon and try to do it better next time, right? On the sun side of the page in the ongoing column, we have two aspects that are both going to be with us through spring equinox, which is the 20th of March. And the first one is Venus conjunct Mars. We've been talking about this some, and we're going to talk about it a lot more. This is your partnership challenge. And it's not the same thing as Venus retrograde, when we were sort of investigating ourselves and how we are in relationships and investigating how good our relationships are for us. And that's work, love, and life, friends. Venus and Mars are both in Capricorn, so this can very much have to do with your work life, the partners that you have there too, as well as your romantic partners, which comes naturally with Venus and Mars. So we are now just looking at the partnership and the partnerships that we've chosen to hang in there with, right? And we want to become better partners. We want to be good partners. We want, to be engaged with partners who work well with us. And, the Capricorn vibe here, Saturn is in charge of both of these guys right now. The Capricorn vibe says, get ambitious, set goals, build something, plan to build something big and get to work on it in your partnership. So, set those partnership goals by communicating, right? And get to work on them. Now, at this time, when I was reflecting on this today, I realized that some of us may be focused on past disappointments when it comes to our partnerships, specific partnerships, or just the partnerships that we have had in the past. And, sometimes if we've been disappointed, if we've had a hard time, if we had a bad breakup or just a bad falling out with somebody that we love, we can become so focused on those disappointments that it's hard to move forward. And unfortunately, that puts us in a position where we might be kind of doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. So it's really important to be able to parse out for yourself, what you're feeling in terms of hesitation. And, is it about the past or is it about the present and the future? Okay, so, we may be really focused on something that disappointed us in the past, and we're so thinking about, we're so calculating what we can do to prevent that from ever happening again. And we may not be communicating well with another person about it. We might just be trying to carry that burden on our own. But listen, what you resist will persist. Anytime you dig your heels in and say, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it and I can go it alone, that's when life is going to call you out and ask you to engage in a way that you didn't think you wanted to engage. That, like you made the rule and now life is going to, it's like making the rule, like, I don't eat chocolate cake anymore. And then of course, like people just come to your door every day with chocolate cake. Like, here, would you like some chocolate cake? Well, of course you want some chocolate cake. So what you resist will persist. So have that conversation with your partner and discuss what you want for the future so that you can become unstuck from the past. Because, what has happened in the past can happen again. And especially if we don't, if we haven't worked out our involvement in that, if we haven't taken responsibility for our own role in the disappointment that we experienced, and if we haven't forgiven what has gone before, then it's going to be hard to move forward. But we gotta become unstuck from the past. The past does not have to be an indicator of what will happen in the future. You have to stand in the present, in the here and now, with your partner and have the discussion about what you want the future to look like. And yes, that can contain a conversation like, this is what I don't want, okay? So you can talk about what you don't want. And I think that's absolutely necessary, especially if you're still feeling stuck about something. But remember that you also need to have a conversation with them about what you do want, what you can see going forward, what you would like to build in that partnership. And then, it's a conversation, so it's an exchange, and we listen to what they have to say about it as well, and then we work together to build something grand out of the partnership we've created. This is the greatest possible time for this, because Venus conjunct Mars, these energies are working together and they're really amplifying one another. Venus is our receptivity, especially to attention and affection, but also to goods, to services, to money, to wealth. So we want to be open and receptive. We want to make room for good things to happen in our lives. And then Mars is our planet for assertion. So, it's like once we've made space and we know what we want, we have what it takes. We have the boldness and we have the personal sense of authority and initiative to go after it. So really go ahead and, embrace that boldness and that personal sense of initiative, and have the conversation and go after what it is you truly want to create. And then the other one that's traveling with Venus and Mars is Jupiter in a sextile relationship with Uranus. So Jupiter, like I said, is currently in Pisces, and the sun is in Pisces. So it's like the sun puts a spotlight on the effect that Pisces has on Jupiter, okay? And the effect that Pisces has on Jupiter is that the stuff that we are expanding, the stuff that we are growing, the stuff that we are engaged in, that makes our experiences bigger and makes our opportunities bigger, that stuff right now has a lot to do with emotion and intuition and creativity, creative energy, the art that we create, the things that we build, right? So, this is a great time to expand your imagination, let it go a little bit wild, and see what you can create in your mind for your possible future, because we think and then we express it through our mouths, and then we do the thing. That's how those realities are created. So when Jupiter is in this sextile relationship with Uranus, Uranus is about awakening us to shifts and changes that we can personally make to refine our process, to get what we want, to make things hopefully somewhat better for ourselves and the people around us. And that sextile energy right now is cooperative. It's dynamic. It generates something. Cooperation makes things happen. So when Jupiter is sextile with Uranus for these several weeks, we seek the changes that will expand our experience. Okay, this is our opportunity for positive growth and change to happen in our lives. Dream big about practical changes that we know we can make and benefit will come, okay? So what I mean by about practical changes is, when I was reflecting on this, I have noticed this in myself, and, I think it's pretty common. I think it's pretty normal. I'm a pretty average, normal person. When we want to manifest something bigger for ourselves, sometimes we go ahead and start manifesting for something that, we would like to have, but we never knew or believed or thought that we had. And, the truth is that if you still harbor in your heart some doubt that you could, say, earn $1 billion this year, then perhaps that's not what we want to be manifesting for. Perhaps we set a smaller goal that we do know in our heart that it's attainable, right? And we reach that goal first. And then, once we've attained that goal, we can set a bigger goal, because we can imagine reaching a bigger goal. So when I say practical, I just mean, we want bigger and better things for ourselves. And it's fully valid to imagine those things and to desire them and to speak them into life and to pursue them. And it's also very valuable to be able to believe in the goals that you're setting for yourself, not to set goals for yourself that on some level you think are unbelievable. Okay, and then next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we'll have a third quarter moon in Sagittarius. That's the halfway point between this full moon we just had a few days ago and the new moon coming up in a couple of weeks. And that's when we will come out of the review phase and into the releasing phase. So we'll start pushing old thoughts, ideas, dispositions, attitudes, and stuff, clutter, out of our lives so that we can create that nice clean slate for the new moon and begin again to create and set short-term goals. Also on Wednesday, Mercury will make a sextile with Chiron. And again, this is going to be an opportunity like this one and like this one to bring up, to talk about those things that you're concerned about, that you're worried about, that are hurting you or that you're struggling to heal from, okay? Those problems that you need to solve. This is going to be the ideal time to be seeking solutions. And we want to talk about healing and solutions. And we've got that sextile aspect, which is likely to generate a good outcome. And then on Thursday of this coming week, Venus will make a sextile aspect with Neptune. So that's going to be our loving receptivity and Neptune in its home sign, creativity in a cooperative situation together. I can't wait to talk about that. And then also on Thursday, Mercury will make a square with Uranus. So then we're going to have a little conversation about the changes we're making and what kind of challenges we're having with them. And that is it for today's aspects. So listen, if you're still here with me, why not go ahead and like my video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click the notification bell so you can see more of these. I post your daily astrological weather report every single day. So definitely you want to come back and see that as it changes and shifts and grows, and so do we. At this point, I'm in the habit of drawing a tarot card at the end of my aspects episode. First, I want to talk about the tarot card on the side of the page. The tarot card on the side of the page has changed. And this is the tarot card that represents the first 10 of 30 days, the first 10 days of the sun's transit through Pisces. Okay, so because we're in Pisces, which is a water sign, we're now in Cups, which is the water element in tarot. And the water element represents our emotions and our intuitions, those less tangible, less structured parts of us that come up and inform how we relate in the world. So the Eight of Cups is, it really indicates sort of a disappointment and walking away. You know, a little while ago we had the Six of Swords, which I felt was sort of similar, sort of moving away from conflict. But in this case, it's more like, you know, we thought we were headed towards something that we were going to be really emotionally satisfied with. And when we got there, it wasn't all that we thought it would be, right? And so rather than, sit around and feel disappointed and sad about it, instead we get up and we walk away and we go on in search of the thing that will satisfy us emotionally. So Eight of Cups still has an air of disappointment about it. It also just has a message like, okay, we don't have to dwell in emotional disappointments. We can get up and move on and go seek that thing that will be emotionally satisfying. And I think that's a great card to indicate, you know, this feeling that we may be having where we're stuck on past disappointments in our partnerships and our ability to grow things from within a partnership, and having to walk away from those disappointments in order to have the conversation that says, look, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to grow. So that's the Eight of Cups, and that's what I see in that for today. And now I'm going to go ahead and mix up these cards. They've already been pretty well shuffled, but I just want to remind myself and the cards. I'm sorry if you heard me burp just then. Just want to remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Pisces, as is Jupiter and as is Neptune. Today is Saturday, which is Saturn's day. Okay, so definitely feeling that Saturn effect in the Venus and Mars there, and probably anything that Pluto's involved in, but we don't have Pluto on the page today, so I don't need to worry about it that much. Waning gibbous moon in Libra, where we're feeling the love for order and balance and beauty, especially in our hearts and our homes and our bodies. Venus conjunct Mars is trying to teach us how to grow bigger things out of our partnerships, and Jupiter in a sextile aspect with Uranus is there to really give us a boost in that, to allow us to dream and to desire big things and to expect big things and to make the changes, the shifts that will get us working in that direction. So that's really positive, as is the moon trine Mercury, which just really encourages us to talk about it, whatever it is that's in our heart and our mind, or whatever we need to talk about in terms of how our body is feeling. It's time to have a conversation. So with all of that said, the Hermit. Okay. So, the Hermit is a person who has withdrawn somewhat from society. They're a bit of a loner, and it's not because they hate society so much as it is that they love learning and they seek deeper, more fulfilling knowledge, more profound knowledge. And that is not just so that they can keep it for themselves. I don't know if you can see the lantern here, but so that they can be a light to others who also seek deeper knowledge. All right. So whatever it is that you get a lot of satisfaction out of, doing the introspection, doing the reading, doing the work. For me, it's astrology. This is an indication that we're in a good time, a good place to really study and think and, prepare ourselves to be a light for other people who want to study and think about those things. And coupled with the 8 of Cups here, we've got 2 images of people who have sort of turned their back and they're walking or moving in the same direction, sort of away. Okay. So definitely, if you have had these past disappointments, okay, that is a great time to turn within and to study a little bit about our own emotions and to use our intuitions and to have conversations with ourselves and with the people that we keep close to us, about, what we can learn, what we can turn our minds and our hearts toward, that can be of benefit not only to our own growth, but to the growth of our relationships and the growth of other people in general. And I think that's all I have to say about that. So I just want to thank you all for showing up today. I appreciate you showing up and catching your daily aspects every day. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today. Thank you.